Do you ever feel like you're constantly saying sorry, even when you haven't really done anything wrong? Maybe you apologize for taking a little longer, for needing a moment to rest, or simply for not wanting to do something someone else expects. It's a quiet pressure. Isn't it a feeling that you somehow owe others an explanation or an apology for just being you? At this stage of life, it's like there's an unwritten rulebook saying that as we get older, we should somehow shrink ourselves, make fewer demands, and definitely not inconvenience anyone. But that feeling, that constant need to justify yourself, it's a heavy burden. And frankly, it's one you absolutely do not need to carry. You've lived a rich, full life, faced countless challenges, and navigated so many changes. Your time now is precious, earned, and deeply personal. You deserve to live it authentically, without the weight of unnecessary apologies. In this video, we're going to talk about 7 specific things you can and should stop apologizing for. Starting today, these are things that are perfectly normal, perfectly valid, and part of living your life on your terms. It's time to shed that guilt and embrace the freedom that comes with owning your choices and your needs. Watch to the end for something that will truly surprise you about the power of letting go of these apologies. Let's dive right in with the first thing you can confidently stop apologizing for: saying no. How often do you find yourself saying yes to things you really don't want to do, purely out of a sense of obligation or because you feel guilty? Maybe it's a social gathering you're too tired for, a favor that will stretch you thin, or a commitment that just doesn't fit into your energy levels or priorities anymore. For so many years, especially if you raised a family or had a demanding career, saying yes, being accommodating, and putting others first was often necessary. It was a part of the role you played, and it became a deeply ingrained habit. You learned to manage expectations, to stretch yourself, and to prioritize the needs of others above your own. And while that selflessness was valuable and appreciated in its time, it doesn't mean you have to continue operating that way indefinitely. Now, you have the opportunity, the right, and even the responsibility to yourself to choose how you spend your time and energy. Your capacity might be different than it once was, and that's not a failing. It's just a fact of life. And saying no is not a rejection of the person or the activity. It's an affirmation of your own boundaries and needs. Think about the relief that washes over you when you actually say no to something you dreaded. That feeling is your intuition telling you you made the right choice for yourself. Yet, despite that relief, there's often that knee-jerk reaction. Isn't there the immediate urge to explain yourself, to list all the reasons why you can't, to soften the blow with a flurry of apologies? Oh, I'm so sorry. I just can't make it because of X, Y, and Z. Or, I'd love to. Really. I'm so sorry, but I'm just too busy. We feel compelled to justify our decision, as if saying no is inherently selfish or wrong. But saying no is a form of self-respect. It's honoring your energy levels, your need for rest, your existing commitments, or simply your desire for quiet time. You don't need a grand, elaborate excuse. A simple, polite, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I won't be able to make it," or "That sounds lovely, but I need to decline," is perfectly sufficient. You are allowed to have preferences. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to simply not want to do something. And you absolutely do not need to apologize for prioritizing your own well-being and capacity. Every time you apologize for saying no, you subtly reinforce the idea that your needs are secondary or that you've somehow wronged someone by not complying. It's time to release that notion. Practice saying no without the automatic "I'm sorry." It might feel strange at first, even a little uncomfortable, because it's a departure from a lifelong habit. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and the more empowered you will feel. You are not responsible for managing other people's potential disappointment when you set a healthy boundary. Your primary responsibility now is to live your life in a way that brings you peace, joy, and health. And sometimes that means saying no to things that would deplete you. Give yourself permission to protect your time, your energy, and your peace. Saying no is not selfish. It's essential self-care. It's a declaration that your time and your well-being are valuable. And that is something to stand firm on, not apologize for. It's about reclaiming your autonomy and living life on your own terms, not someone else's. Now, closely related to saying no is the second thing you should stop apologizing for taking time for yourself. We touched on this a little, but let's really lean into it. For decades, many of you have likely been the primary caregivers, the breadwinners, the community pillars, the go-to person for everyone else's needs. Your life might have been a whirlwind of balancing work, family, home, and countless other obligations. Personal time, if it existed at all, was often squeezed into tiny pockets, guiltily snatched between responsibilities. The idea of taking an hour for a quiet cup of tea, an afternoon to read a book, or even a few days away just for you, might have felt like an unimaginable luxury or something you had to apologize for. "Oh, I'm just being lazy." Or, "Sorry, I'm taking some time off." Society, and perhaps even your own ingrained beliefs, can sometimes make you feel that unless you are actively doing something productive for others or for some external goal, you are not valuable or deserving of rest. But that is simply not true. This stage of life offers a unique opportunity to shift that paradigm. Your value is not measured by your constant activity or your service to others. Your value is inherent, a result of the incredible person you are and the life you have lived. Taking time for yourself is not an indulgence. It is a necessity for your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. It is during these times of quiet and rest that you can recharge, reflect, and simply enjoy the peace of your own company. Maybe it's spending an hour in the garden, working on a hobby, going for a leisurely walk, listening to music, or simply sitting and watching the world go by. These moments are not empty spaces to be filled with activity. They are vital periods of restoration. Yet, the guilt can be a persistent companion. You might hear an inner voice or even external comments suggesting you should be doing something more useful, visiting someone, volunteering, or tackling that never-ending list of chores. And the pressure to apologize for choosing yourself in those moments can be immense. "Sorry, I can't come over. I'm just having a quiet afternoon." Said with a tone that implies you should be doing something more important. Stop it. Stop apologizing for nurturing your own spirit. Your need for rest and solitude is just as valid as anyone else's need for connection or activity. In fact, it's crucial for maintaining your health and your ability to continue engaging with the world in a meaningful way. Think of it this way: you wouldn't apologize for needing to sleep, would you? Rest is a fundamental human need, and downtime, personal time, is a form of active rest for your mind and spirit. It allows you to process, to decompress, and to simply be present. So, the next time you decide to dedicate time solely to yourself, without any agenda other than your own peace and enjoyment, do it without a trace of guilt or an ounce of apology. Own that time. Cherish it. You've earned it, not as a reward for past work, but as a fundamental right to care for the person you are right now. This act of taking time for yourself, unapologetically, is a powerful affirmation that your well-being is a priority. And that message resonates not only with yourself, but also with those around you, subtly teaching them to respect your boundaries and needs. Moving on from guarding your time and saying no, the third thing you should absolutely stop apologizing for is asking for help. This is a tough one for many, especially if you've always been the one everyone else relied on. There's a strong, often unspoken, cultural narrative around independence. Particularly as we age, we feel pressure to prove we can still do everything ourselves, that we aren't a burden, that we are still capable and strong. Asking for help can feel like admitting weakness. like you're failing, or like you're somehow inconveniencing others. And so, when a task becomes difficult, maybe carrying heavy groceries, understanding new technology, or even just needing a listening ear, we often struggle through it alone. Or worse, preface a request with a hesitant, "I'm so sorry to bother you, but could you possibly..." We apologize for having a need, for requiring assistance, as if needing help is something shameful. But needing help is a fundamental part of the human experience. At every age, from the moment we are born, we rely on others, and throughout life, we continue to exchange help and support in countless ways. Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom and strength. It shows you understand your own limitations and are brave enough to be vulnerable. It also provides an opportunity for others to connect with you and to feel useful and valued themselves. Think about how it feels when someone asks you for help, provided it's within your capacity and willingness. It often feels good, doesn't it? It's an affirmation of your own abilities and a chance to contribute. When you refuse to ask for help when you need it, you're not only making things harder for yourself, potentially risking your safety or well-being, but you're also denying others the chance to offer support and build connection with you. You are not a burden for having needs. You are simply a human being living in a community, and communities thrive on mutual support. Maybe it's asking a neighbor to help with a heavy package, asking a family member to set up a new phone app, or asking a friend to listen when you're feeling down. These aren't grand demands. They are simple requests for connection and assistance. And you do not need to preface them with an apology. Instead of, "I'm so sorry to ask, but could you..." try, "Could you possibly help me with..." or "I would really appreciate your help with this." See the difference? One implies you are a problem. The other is simply a statement of need and a request for collaboration. Release the fear that you are a burden. You have spent years contributing to the lives of others. It is more than okay. It is right and healthy to allow others to contribute to yours now. Asking for help allows you to conserve your energy for things you genuinely enjoy, prevents frustration or injury, and strengthens your bonds with the people around you. It is an act of interdependence, which is a beautiful and natural part of life, not something to feel guilty or apologetic about. Next up, let's talk about something that is absolutely vital to connection and the preservation of history. Yet some feel they need to apologize for it, talking about the past. Specifically sharing your stories and experiences. How often have you heard someone, perhaps yourself included, say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just rambling on about the old days." Or, "You probably don't want to hear about this, but back when I was..." Apology inserted here. There's a strange idea that past experiences become irrelevant or boring to younger generations, or that dwelling on the past is a sign of being stuck or out of touch. And so, we apologize for recounting memories, for sharing anecdotes from different eras, for offering perspective gained over decades of living. But your past is not just the old days. It is a treasure trove of wisdom, resilience, humor, and insight. Your stories are your legacy. They are the threads that connect you to the history of your family, your community, and the world. They offer context, teach lessons that aren't found in textbooks, and provide a deeper understanding of how things came to be the way they are today. When you share your stories about your childhood, your career, raising your family, overcoming challenges, experiencing historical events, you are doing something incredibly valuable. You are passing down knowledge, preserving memories, and offering a glimpse into a world that no longer exists in the same way. To your grandchildren, your friends, or even just new acquaintances, your stories can be fascinating, enlightening, and deeply moving. They help bridge generational gaps and foster empathy and understanding. And yet, the pressure to apologize persists. We worry we are boring people, taking up too much time, or living in the past. But there is a difference between being stuck in the past and sharing from the richness of your experiences. One is about dwelling on what was. The other is about offering the gift of perspective and connection. Don't apologize for sharing your journey. Own your stories. Tell them with pride and confidence. They are a part of who you are, and they are valuable. If someone is genuinely not interested, they will find a polite way to change the subject. And that's okay. But you do not need to anticipate their disinterest and apologize in advance. Have confidence in the inherent value of your life's experiences. Your memories are unique. Your perspective is shaped by decades of living. And sharing that is a gift, not an imposition. So, next time you feel the urge to apologize before launching into a story from your past, take a breath and just tell the story. Share your history, your wisdom, and your memories without reservation or apology. You are a living archive, and your content is gold. Now, let's address the fifth thing many feel they need to apologize for, which is particularly prevalent as bodies change and energy levels shift your pace. Life in the modern world often feels like a relentless rush. Everything is fast. Fast food, fast fashion, instant information, quick interactions. There's a societal premium placed on speed and efficiency. And as we age, our bodies and minds might naturally operate at a different tempo. Walking might be slower. Tasks might take longer. Processing information might require a little more time. And this difference in pace, when contrasted with the hurried world around us, can sometimes lead to feelings of inadequacy or guilt. We might find ourselves apologizing for holding someone up, for taking longer to do something, or for needing to pause and rest. Sorry, I'm a bit slow today. Or, apologies. This is taking me a while. We internalize the idea that a slower pace is somehow less valuable or inconvenient. But why should you apologize for moving at the pace that is right for your body and mind? Rushing can be stressful, increases the risk of accidents, and diminishes the enjoyment of the present moment. A slower pace can allow for greater observation, deeper appreciation, and more mindful engagement with the world. Think about walking. A slower pace allows you to notice the flowers blooming, the birds singing, the details of the architecture. A rushed pace means you might miss all of that. Your pace is your own. It is dictated by your physical comfort, your energy levels, and your personal preference. There is no universal speed limit on life, and you are not required to match the frantic energy of others if it doesn't serve you. Perhaps you take longer to get ready in the morning, need more time to complete a chore, or prefer to walk at a gentle stroll rather than a power walk. These are not things to apologize for. These are simply the rhythms of your life, and they are perfectly valid. Apologizing for your pace reinforces the false belief that you are somehow less than because you are not operating at maximum speed. Release that apology. Own your pace. If you are walking with someone and you need to slow down, simply say, "Let's walk at this pace. It's comfortable for me." If you are working on a task and it's taking time, that's okay. Focus on doing it well, not doing it quickly. Your comfort and well-being are far more important than adhering to some arbitrary standard of speed. Embrace the opportunity to move through life with more intention and less haste. A slower pace can lead to a richer experience. You have the right to move through the world at a speed that feels good to you, without explanation or apology. It's not an inconvenience. It's simply how you are navigating your life in this moment. And that is perfectly fine. Moving on from the pace of things, let's tackle the sixth thing you absolutely do not need to apologize for: not being constantly busy or productive according to someone else's definition. We live in a culture that glorifies being busy. Busyness is often equated with importance, value, and success. And if you reach a stage in life where you are no longer working a demanding job, raising children, or juggling multiple commitments, You might find yourself with more free time. And with that free time can come an unexpected pressure, both internal and external, to fill every moment with activity, to always be doing something. If you are not constantly engaged in what society deems productive tasks, volunteering, taking classes, pursuing strenuous hobbies, constantly socializing, you might feel like you need to apologize for your less scheduled life. "Oh, I had a quiet day, didn't do much. I'm afraid," said with a hint of embarrassment. But a life that is not packed wall to wall with activity is not a life that needs apologizing for. In fact, it can be a life that is rich in ways that constant busyness prevents. This is a time for rest, for reflection, for pursuing interests purely for pleasure, for spending time with loved ones without rushing, or simply for quiet contemplation. The pressure to be constantly on or constantly achieving is exhausting at any age, but it's particularly unnecessary now. You have earned the right to decide how you spend your time, and if that means spending an afternoon reading, sitting in your garden, or simply enjoying a cup of tea while watching the birds, that is a perfectly valid way to exist. There is immense value in stillness, in downtime, and in unstructured time. These are the moments when creativity can flourish, when reflection can occur, and when you can simply recharge your batteries. Don't apologize for not having a packed schedule or for choosing rest and leisure over constant activity. You are not required to justify how you spend your non-obligated hours. Your worth is not tied to your productivity. You are valuable simply because you are you. So, the next time someone asks what you've been doing, and the answer isn't a long list of strenuous activities, respond with confidence. "I had a lovely quiet day," or "I spent some time relaxing," or "I did exactly what I wanted to do." No apology necessary. Give yourself permission to embrace a less frantic pace, to enjoy unstructured time, and to simply be, without feeling the need to apologize for not constantly doing. This period of life can be a beautiful opportunity for stillness and presence, and that is something to be cherished, not excused. Finally, let's address the seventh thing you should stop apologizing for. And this can be a deeply personal one: your appearance or age-related changes. We live in a society that is often obsessed with youth and fears aging. Billions are spent on products and procedures designed to make people look younger, and there's immense pressure to conform to unrealistic beauty standards. As we age, our bodies naturally change. Hair turns gray, skin develops wrinkles, our shape might shift. These are normal, natural processes of life, and yet, many older adults feel a need to apologize for these changes, or feel embarrassed by them, or feel they need to explain or justify them. "Sorry, I'm not looking my best today," or "excuse my wrinkles," or feeling the need to constantly preface comments about their appearance with apologies. But why should you apologize for the natural process of living? Every line on your face tells a story. Every change in your body is a testament to the years you have lived, the experiences you have had, and the resilience you possess. Your appearance at this age is not something to be ashamed of or apologized for. It is something to be honored and accepted. Trying to perpetually appear younger can be an exhausting and often futile pursuit. It's like apologizing for reaching a milestone birthday. Aging is not a failure. It is a continuum of life. Your value as a person has absolutely nothing to do with the number of wrinkles you have, the color of your hair, or the shape of your body. Your value comes from your character, your wisdom, your kindness, your spirit, and the unique person you are. Society may send messages that older bodies and faces are less valuable or less beautiful, but those messages are wrong. True beauty encompasses the entirety of a person, and that includes the wisdom, grace, and character that deepen with age. Stop apologizing for the natural process of getting older. Stop feeling the need to explain or excuse your appearance. Embrace the person you are, right now, with all the beautiful marks of a life lived. Wear your age with confidence and pride. You have earned every gray hair and every wrinkle. They are markers of a life well lived, not flaws to be apologized for. Releasing the need to apologize for your appearance is incredibly freeing. It allows you to step out into the world as your authentic self, without the burden of trying to meet impossible standards. Your worth is inherent, unchanging, and has nothing to do with external appearance. Focus on health and vitality. Yes, but do it for yourself, not out of a need to apologize for how you look. You are beautiful because of the life you have lived, not in spite of the changes that life has brought to your appearance. So, we've talked about saying no, taking time for yourself, asking for help, sharing your stories, moving at your own pace, not needing to be constantly busy, and accepting your appearance. These are not trivial things. These are fundamental aspects of living an authentic, fulfilling, and peaceful life. Especially now. Imagine the lightness you will feel when you stop carrying the weight of these unnecessary apologies. Think about the energy you will reclaim by not constantly justifying your choices and needs. It's not about becoming demanding or inconsiderate. It's about recognizing your own worth, setting healthy boundaries, and honoring your capacity and desires. You have spent decades perhaps putting others first, adapting and conforming. Now is the time to prioritize your own well-being and peace of mind. You have the wisdom to know what you need and the right to pursue it without guilt. Every time you choose not to apologize for these things, you are making a powerful statement to yourself and to the world that you are valuable, your needs are valid, and you deserve to live your life with confidence and freedom. Remember, small shifts in how you think and speak can make a monumental difference in how you feel and how others perceive you. You have earned the right to occupy your space fully and authentically. Don't shrink yourself with unnecessary apologies. Stand tall in who you are. At this wonderful stage of life, you have so much to offer. And that offering is even richer when you are living in alignment with your own truth and needs. Give yourself permission to release the guilt, drop the apologies, and step into the freedom that awaits you. It is never too late to claim your peace and live life on your own terms. You deserve nothing less. We'd love to hear from you. Which of these resonated most with you? What's one apology you're ready to let go of today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's build a community of support and encouragement. If you found this video helpful and empowering, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us know we're creating content that matters to you. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos designed to help you live your best life at every age. Thank you for watching. And remember, live your best life at every age.